taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. Today we're going to handle people's performance management. Here are some handouts that will assist you during the presentation. Thank you. As well as an attendance register that I would like you to fill in to show that who was present during this presentation. And once we are completed, there are some forms to be filled in with regards to the presentation. Thank you very much. Right, let's start. As I said, we were handling people's management. There are 4 different elements with regards to people's management. Firstly, let's start with having the right skills for the job. Secondly, managing people's performance. We will be elaborating with regards to that subject. Achieving results, and lastly, empowering and motivating staff.
What does a people manager do? Mainly, being a people manager means you have a team. You manage one or more individuals. You hire them, you create their job description, you create and advise on their career plan, you evaluate their performance, they come to you for everyday questions on their work, you fire them when the case arises, and you get their resignation when it's the case. All in all, the people manager job is a rather pragmatic, hands-on, results-orientated type of work, and it has nothing to do with being a human resources person. Sure, basic HR knowledge helps, like knowing how much the legal maternity period is or how many days of advance notice you should get. But other than that, it's nothing personal, it's just business. What does a performance manager do? A performance manager doesn't need to directly manage the people he or she develops. An HR person who designs a talent management system is, for example, a performance manager. In most companies, the job description directly related to developing the organization goes into HR. And if you're not a direct manager, you need to be in touch with the people you grow. How else could you create valuable experiences for them? You design work evaluation processes, also known as performance evaluation. You implement coaching systems in the organization. You are a trainer or a coach yourself. You are an advisor, and you define career plans and training plans. Ask yourself how much of your job is to be a people manager and how much of your job is devoted to actually developing the people around you to go the last mile. The last mile is about motivating an individual through performance management to execute their duties exceptionally in order to achieve your set objectives and ultimately achieve the business strategy objectives. The following strategies can be applied to get your employees to go the last mile. Management strategies, and thus include management style. Start by examining your own assumptions about your team members, because your perception affects the way that you behave. For instance, if you believe that someone is simply coming to work to earn a paycheck, then you may unconsciously adopt an authoritarian management style with them. The article on Theory X and Theory Y will help you identify your unconscious assumptions about your team members' motivations so that you can apply the right management style for the situation. You can also use tools to identify the most effective leadership style to apply in different situations. This is helpful because it helps you to choose the best leadership style to adopt, depending on your people's needs as well as the environment they're in and the task that they're working on. Another approach is to work on your emotional intelligence. This will help you build better relationships with your people. Motivational strategies. Motivation is probably your biggest challenge when it comes to managing weak links. Without an effective strategy in place, your team members will not be as productive, satisfied, and loyal as they could be. In other words, they will not go the last mile. The following strategies will help. Get to know your team. It's important to get to know the individuals within your team. The more you know about their personal lives and goals, the better you'll be able to structure towards that rewards that keep them motivated. For instance, a good way to motivate single parents who work part-time might be to offer them flexible working hours or on-site daycare usually reserved for full-time workers. Identify the people's needs. You can also use models such as Maslow's hierarchy of needs to identify people's fundamental needs. This will allow you to customize your motivational approach for maximum impact. For instance, doing what you can to boost people's confidence can be a great motivator and can lead to significantly increased productivity. Increase the job satisfaction. Use strategies to eliminate any element that might be leading to job dissatisfaction. A good example of this would be to get rid of an oppressive company policy such as banning the taking of personal calls at work. Trusting employees by removing these negative elements can build team trust and create loyalty. Also ensure that you provide a fair and safe environment, one in which people can have great working relationships with co-workers, and one where people are given proper recognition for their achievement. Further motivational strategies. Try to make the work environment as pleasant as possible for your team, especially for those in low-skilled or boring roles. Make sure that it's clean, well-lit, and comfortable. People have different dominant motivators, whether these are the needs for achievement, affiliation, or power. Learn which dominant motivators work for individual members of your team so that you can structure rewards and praise effectively. Reward your team by simply saying thank you. Recognition and appreciation for a job well done can be an incredible motivator. If you're finding it difficult to get your team motivated, then use principles from expectancy theory. This helps you motivate people by linking their efforts with the outcome of the project. People with low ambition are often responsible for doing work which everyone else in the organization considers low status. If this is the case in your team, make sure that they are treated equally, especially when it comes to company perks like holiday parties or leaving early on Fridays. Having control over what we do is a major source of job satisfaction for most people. Whenever possible, give your workers the opportunity to choose their tasks and projects. The more control they have over their work, the more they'll own and take responsibility for their tasks. Important. People with no ambition to progress their careers can have special management needs. Applying the same strategies you use with other people in your team won't be as productive or effective with these team members. Start by identifying what truly motivates every individual on your team. Next, use this insight to tailor your motivation and reward so that their job is meaningful and effective. It's also important to modify your leadership style with these people. Use tools like path goal theory to help you identify the best style to use with these team members. Then the relating and requiring strategy. Relating encompasses relationship building behaviors: asking, listening, including, coaching, and encouraging. When managers relate well, employees feel heard and cared about. They know, at the heart level, you value them as people and as team contributors. They are motivated to work harder and share ideas. Requiring refers to results-oriented activities, creating expectations, focusing on goals, insisting on excellence, setting appropriate controls, asserting your views, and confronting problems. When you require well, your group generates better project results. If you relate and require well, your workers will deliver high quality, high productivity, and fresh ideas to solve existing problems. Most managers find one of these skill sets more natural than the other. You may struggle with or even avoid the less natural skill set. To maximize your effectiveness as a manager, consider these 5 tips. Become keenly attuned to which R is dominant and how dominant it is. Honestly admit your weaknesses and the consequences of those weaknesses. Under or overuse of relating and requiring skills can damage relationships, results, or both. Vary the skills you use based on the specific employee you are managing and the details of the situation. One size does not fit all. Adjust your approach if it's not working. Perhaps you are leaning too much on your natural style and it's time to engage your less natural style. Realize that some management functions require a systematic approach. For example, decision making should usually start with asking and listening, independent of your natural style. When you consciously think of these suggestions, you increase your ability to help employees grow professionally and accomplish group goals. You gain flexibility to handle tough people management situations gracefully and decisively. Most managers forget the performance management part of their job. It's easy to get focused on performance and just leave the coaching talk for the yearly evaluation routine. The best is to have weekly, informal one-on-ones. Know people's expectations regarding their work content, their careers, work-life balance, and how much committed they are. Know your people's priorities and what skills they need to perform best. Know what roles are needed for your people in order to have them succeed, not in their next job, but even 2 jobs from now. They make 5 years plus career plans.